In the heart of every American lies two burning desires. One is to retire early off a personal injury lawsuit. The other is to drive across the country. My name's David Angelo, and I want these things too. And pending further litigation with Pillsbury Foods, I only had one option. Alright, it's 4:30 in the morning here in New York. I'm about to go to the airport and start this trip. And as usual, I made friendly conversation on the way there.
What do you do for a work, sir?
I'm a comedian.
That's terrible, sir.
Yeah. What I had planned was a near 4,000-mile trip that would take me through the heart of America. But first I had to fly out to San Francisco, the heart of the Soviet Union. Flying out there was going to be no problem, but driving back would be a different story. Would America accept me for who I am? An elitist asshole? I'd find out soon enough. Okay, I just got off my plane, which means two things. One, I'm covered in a microscopic spray of human fecal matter. And two, I'm in San Francisco. I really love the Bay Area. There's such an excitement and an energy. It's sort of like a sharp pain that shoots up through your toe. Oh, that's a used syringe, never mind. Probably a good idea to get off the street. Fortunately, it wasn't too hard to find a ride.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a comedian.
I'm sorry about that.
Anyway, here's the route I'd be taking, from the West Coast to the East Coast. And to get it done, I was going to need some wheels of my own. If you're going to see America, the only way to do that is in a car. What's more American than a big V8? Well, a Japanese six-cylinder. Ooh, look at that with the T-tops and everything. That's right, the 1995 300ZX 2+2 naturally aspirated Z32 with a current estimated value of nearly 1.1 million yen. Nice. I've always wanted this car. I mean, forever. It's a 95. I used to own a 96 Acura Integra, which was the same color also. So I've yet to buy a car that, it was built after Princess Diana's death. But someday I'll be able to afford one of those. For now, though, I'm very happy with this. Okay, this is a very important symbolic moment here, is when we set the trip counter to 0. All right, well, we're going 3,000 miles, so this goes to 999 miles. So in a sense, it's actually not going to be useful at all. I can't promise a lot by way of production values, but what I can promise is a compelling story and a good character development. At the start of this, I'm very cynical and not very likable, but by the end, whew, you think you don't like me now. Of course, I wouldn't be alone. That's Mike, one of the few people I know who I don't expect to strangle me after spending 3 hours in the car. He's also going to help out with the video, which is good because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm trying to get the drone to work. Didn't have the right software, so we're doing some software installs. Yeah, I did all this shit. I did all this. Step 4, but I can't get to step 4. Yes, I don't know. Activate. Oh, good. This is to receive my warranty. Please restart the aircraft. It's a knowledge quiz. Now I'm in a blank page. Yes. 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 Great. Yes. And it's Japanese. What? Take off. Okay, that's awesome. I take it all back. It's amazing.
Awesome.
Look at that shot. Beauty shot of the 300ZX. Before long, I had proven myself as a drone pilot prodigy, so without needing to practice anymore, we got back out on the road. Alright, day 2, driving from midway between Reno and Salt Lake City. We're a few hundred miles out of California, so people are starting to be polite again. They say please, thank you, yes ma'am, and all that. It's a little unnerving. I'm donning a disguise. You see, this is a hat that says Kentucky, which is one of their states. And hopefully I won't be singled out as the enemy. All right, I'll see you going to Elkwood. Elko?
Elko.
We're going to Elko, which is a town sort of built around a Walmart, which in days of old, you know, you'd have the cathedral that was the bedrock of the community. These days, it's a Walmart supercenter. So we're just gonna go there and spend the night there. So again, as we left California, it got American real fast. Now we're at a racetrack, so I'm gonna watch some cars go around in a circle. Very exciting stuff. You know, I like F1. It's a little more sophisticated. They're in Monte Carlo. You have Mercedes, Ferrari, different sponsorships out here. Stuff like you know, BigTitties.com and Ed's Bail Bonds, you know. But, you know, it's a different culture, and that's what we're exploring here today. Good times at the track, and now we're going to walk back down this dark... It's basically, we're walking through the desert at night because I didn't want to drive the 300ZX down a dirt road. So, you know, these are the trade-offs of owning a collectible automobile. The next morning, I remembered the upside of owning the best Japanese sports car ever made. Driving it. All right, we made it to Bonneville Salt Flats. Every year, people from all over the world come here to race cars and set new records. And it's in an annual event called Speed Week, which is, luckily for us, 3 days ago. Of course, we, you know, that's just the way my luck works. But it's empty now, so the parking's a lot easier, as you can tell. And it's a lot of salt on the ground. Now, because no cars are racing, I figured I'd have to set a record of my own. And I'm not going to get the 300ZX all salty, so I'm going to do this on foot. Here we go. Let's start the clock. Having completed my exercise for the fiscal quarter, we were back out on the road. Before long, I was dishing out some of my classic travel commentary. We're in Utah, known for Mormons and, I don't know, Karl Malone. We then drove through Salt Lake City, where I forgot to get video, but fortunately found this royalty-free NASA shot of the region. It seemed like everywhere we looked, nature's beauty stared us back in the face, with the landscape getting more and more landscapey as we approached Arches National Park. We're here in Arches National Park in Utah, where people from all over the world come to look at rocks. People really love looking at Earth, and even though I hadn't seen stones this old since Jagger and the boys played Soldier Field, it lacked the cultural sophistication of the East Coast life that I knew and loved. So I got back in the car and did my best to recharge. Yes. Yes! Thank you. Once again, feeling superior to everyone east of Berkeley, we made great time driving through Colorado, stopping only a few hours to get 3 drone shots. I'm in Colorado now, and it's nice to be in some shade. It was very sunny in Utah and Nevada. I don't know how those people do it, especially Utah. It's like, geez, no shade anywhere. It's relentless. And those people are white, you know. I thought I was white. They make me look like Nat King Cole. There's a line sure to win over millennial viewers, but Colorado was nice. And ever since it was legalized, the locals seem to really enjoy the old 220 mountain time. Yeah, apparently now when you order a Denver omelet, you gotta pass it around the table. But as we traveled, we started to see more and more freight trains and thought it would be nice to visit the Union Pacific Observatory, which we got to just before it closed. It closed? All right, well, we came to the Union Pacific Rail Yard to look at the trains. They're open till 7. It's 6:16, but they're closed. Are you sure we're not in Central Time?
The time zone changes just west of here, about 25, 30 miles. When I was a kid, the time zone changed about 1.5 miles further east, so.
Oh, wow. Just our luck. Well, with the clock ticking, we headed back out on the road, passing a lot of corn on the way, and more corn, and other fields. This had to be Nebraska, which meant there was one place we had to go, the Nebraska State Fair, the cultural epicenter of the Midwest. This was the America I had heard so much about. We're just minutes away from a pork chop being born. I saw a lot of things like giant chickens, little chickens, sheep, a lot of sheep. I think it's a sad sign of our nation that even now in 2019, some sheep are still in the clan. There were also cows, and more cows. Then we played some bingo.
069.
Nice.
69.
Nice. Saw some pigs race. And a squirrel water ski.
You got 3 more laps.
One of the nice things about working in show business is you get to see the other acts out there. And in this case, it's a squirrel who draws a much bigger crowd than me, so I always appreciate that. I cheered myself up with some more exhibits. They told me to run for cover, so here I am. Personally, I think all quilts are terrible, but that is sort of a blanket statement. This quilt only came in 4th place. I hope someone's there to comfort her. All right. There was a guy playing with a chainsaw, some old folks playing with things, a few real-life emojis, and a total butterface. And then we were off. I like driving through the Midwest. It's nice to see where all the food is grown. I mean, not my food. I buy all organic produce that's much more expensive because the farmers are mostly failed artists who only learned about gardening in their late 40s. But I can taste the difference. Anyway, back to the trip. Okay, so we went through Iowa, we went through Illinois, we're now in Indiana, and everything's going great. Car's doing fantastic. Killing a lot of bugs with the car. My windows have so many bugs you'd think I was Bill Gates. That's how bad it is. That's a pretty edgy joke to tell while driving through the Microsoft desktop. But soon, we found ourselves at another iconic location. Here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's got kind of a, Third Reich vibe to the architecture. Of course, there's a lot to see here, and fortunately, we had plenty of time before the tours ended at 4 p.m.
Indiana is in the Eastern Time Zone.
So what time is it now?
It is 4:06 p.m.
Foiled once again by the Earth's curvature, we pressed on into Ohio, to a proper city with a proper hotel where I could unwind with America's high-quality TV programming.
We love the two Woodburn fireplaces, knowing that I can be home at 3 or 4 o'clock and light a fire, and then he gets to
Let the worshiping begin.
Exactly.
After a couple nightmares about my failure to break into that industry, we set off again. Okay, driving through Ohio now. We were in Indy yesterday. Went and saw the Speedway. Go see all the Indy cars, And I thought that meant independent racing, so that's what I was thinking. I was expecting Janine Garofalo out there with the checkered flag, but apparently it's Indianapolis is the abbreviation, which makes sense. Then we were in Columbus, Ohio, which, problematic name. You can't have a city named after Columbus anymore. So if you're watching this in the future, it'll probably be, we probably went through Chomsky, Ohio, for all I know. And now we're on our way to Virginia. Gonna go up the Shenandoah Pass. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We drove the rest of the day to get down to Shenandoah, where we were able to book a hotel for the night and start fresh the next morning. Here in Virginia, spent the night at the Stonewall Jackson Hotel. That name is not gonna stick, okay? I mean, they gotta do something. Come back here in a few years, it'll be the Rachel Maddow Suites. Good stay, though, decent continental. On to Shenandoah, where a $30 toll road promised some fun mountain driving and breathtaking views. Or so we were told. We're here in the Shenandoah Valley, at a scenic overlook, but it's tough. I mean, this fog is thicker than Bernie Sanders' wallet after a campaign year. Now out here you get a great echo. It's fantastic. Here, check it out. I'm the world's greatest comedian.
No, you're not.
You can't see the landscape, but the car looks fantastic. I look pretty good too.
No, you don't.
As we got closer and closer to the East Coast, it dawned on me what we had accomplished. We crossed America, the greatest country on earth. And I'll be honest, I was starting to feel more American. I was inspired by the country and its history, which is why I had to stop at one of its most famous sites. I'm here at Gettysburg, which was a huge battlefield where two sides of the country ruthlessly fought each other for the future of the nation. It's basically 19th century Twitter. You know, I have a lot in common with Civil War soldiers. We both shoot on cannons. Mine's a M50, I think is the model. It's a good bit, yeah. It's hard to think of respectful bits here at a place where 400,000 people died, but you know, that's what we do. That's what my calling in life really is. Of course, Gettysburg didn't just mark a turning point in the Civil War. We were only a few hours from Boston, and before long, our trip was over. But the memories we made, well, those will last a lifetime.